Bozack Mo, bun down is the sound. You know how we do. And today in the lounge space, we have a return guest from a homie that we've been known for some time, but it's good to get him in the lounge space. The last time we had him on, we were just talking was back in the Instagram live days, so it feels like a minute.
Like
But
the
without
pandemic.
right, without any
Yeah.
further ado, Mr. Bozack Morris, say what?
Salute,
Hell
man. Thank
yes,
you, man. Thank
man.
you for
Hell
having
yeah.
me, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. Yo, we got this new Toronto tape thing, which we're gonna get into, obviously. But
Hmm.
I don't know if you recall, we do always start off the episodes with one very specific question. And
All
if
right.
people didn't catch you on Instagram Live like back then this will be new for them. So to start off, how are you first introduced to hip hop culture?
I was like a kid. I think it might have. I think it might have started like with Run DMC and Aerosmith rock walk this way.
Okay,
You know,
okay, okay,
and I remember I think that might be one of my first glimpses of it as a kid.
okay.
Um, but I think like what captivated me and what grasped me was seeing Public Enemy on New Music, which is a show on
Ooh,
Much Music, the
yes.
Canadian MTV.
Shout out Chum.
Yeah, so it's like and seeing like an interview of like Chuck D, early
Mm,
Chuck D, like
mhm.
this is It Takes a Nation of Millions times, and he had his hat super low,
Yeah, yeah.
and I thought it was like, yo, who the fuck are these guys? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, like I'm an 8 year old just like watching this shit, and one day I think my homie just taped like a college radio show, like a hip hop radio show back in the '80s,
Mm.
and it was like and just taped it on a cassette, and just brought it to school one day, and then we would just listen to that shit. Like all of us would just crowd around the boombox and just listen to this rap tape, and it had like BDP Jack and Spades on there. It had um Two Live Crew, Hey We Want Some Pussy on there. And we were like, in second and third grade just listening to this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was wild.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it just kind of captivated us, and we just started just being kids, just rap loving kids, you know what I mean? Just
Word.
so that kind of was the introduction, and I just kept going with it. Like, I just kept learning more and nerding out on it, and you know what I mean? I'm still that kid to this day. Let's keep it on it. You know what I mean?
True.
So
True.
that's really what
That
it
does
is,
not
man.
stop.
Yeah.
So when you discover the culture, all the homies around you, they were discovering at the same time as you.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. It
I
was
mean,
it was
it was a pretty exciting part of hip hop. I'm talking about, you know,
yeah.
88 golden era, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
know I'm aging myself right now by saying
Whatever,
that,
man.
but it's like how could you, it was undeniable at that time,
Straight up.
so it's like it was real exciting. It had this brand new thing that was like, you know what I mean, super exciting, and not everybody was really up on yet. I mean, like
Mhm.
even me as an 8 year old could figure that out.
Mhm.
So and I remember, like, around that time, it's like, yo, the rap sections at the record stores were very small.
Yeah, man.
We're talking about like a table that was like, like 4 feet. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? With the
Straight
cassettes.
up.
You know what I mean? Like it was kind of crazy like that. So I mean, but it's like, but it was like it kind of like skyrocketed at that point. That was like the cusp of when things were starting to get really good, and then hip hop never stopped. They just kept going up and rising up, and just the trajectory just kept getting higher and higher and higher. And you know what I mean? Look at where we are now, man. Like shit, you know what I mean? So it's
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 it's it's wild to know that we got to see that in real time.
it's crazy, man, because a lot of
We got to
motherfuckers like
see
they weren't around for that. It's just like, oh, it's always been
right.
here. You know what I mean? They don't understand that this took work to get here. You know what I mean? Took a
Mhm.
lot of work.
Mhm. Oh
Took a
yeah.
lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Took a lot of struggle and pain and hardships to get to where we are today. So salute to the forefathers, salute to everybody that paved the way to get to where we are now. Like, yo, I know we try to act like we're giants, but fuck, we're just standing on the shoulders of the real ones over there that paved the way. So that's really what it is. So
Straight up, man. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew you were gonna start to pull out some nuggets, man. And you've already brought up a couple that we just can't walk past. You brought up the new music,
mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Just out of curiosity, do you remember who was hosting the episode of new music where they featured PE?
I don't remember, man. I don't remember. Um,
Man, Michael Williams, maybe.
Maybe it could be Lori Brown. I don't know if you remember
True,
her.
true. Yeah.
Um, it,
Oh, that's a good question. That's
I think,
see,
you know what?
man.
I don't know. Maybe
Woo.
we have to go to YouTube and see if we can find the
You
footage, man. Like,
know,
so it's like it was a long time
man.
ago. So I really don't know if that person was on the camera for the actual interview, but I think maybe
Right.
like Lori
Could have
Brown
been
might have been the
off camera.
what's that?
Interviewing off camera.
Oh, oh, am I off camera? Oh, yeah,
No, no.
the interview was off
She might
camera.
have been
Yeah, that's right.
interviewing, yeah, off
Yeah.
camera. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said I'm off camera. I was like, oh,
Nah,
okay.
nah.
You know what I mean? So,
Guy,
but
you
yeah,
brought
no,
up.
I think the interview might have been off camera. I could be wrong though. So we
Yeah.
need to go back and find the footage.
You brought up another unbelievable fact,
Hmm.
and you literally floored me because it is a reality. There was a time when we knew when the rap section was like this.
Yeah, yeah. You
God damn.
go to go to Sam the Recommend or Music World, like you know what I mean.
Right?
Like there was only like a handful of things that you could buy in the rap tape section. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
man.
um,
Whew.
so like that was what it was at that time, man. And then you know what I mean? Like
But
this shit just
what was it about hip hop though? You know what I'm saying? Like something about hip hop spoke to you, called out to you,
I think it was the
found a
counterculture.
synergy. Yeah.
It was the counterculture element of it, right? Well, it was this rebellious counterculture element. It was something that like you probably see a lot with like punk rock and heavy metal at the time. You know what
Yo,
I
it
mean?
was our punk rock.
But it was us. You know what
It was
I
our
mean,
punk
like
rock.
that's really what it was exactly, right? So it's like, particularly Public Enemy because
Yeah.
he had his hat all low. Chuck D had his hat all low. Like you know what I mean? He was talking like you know what I mean? He was like in his
Mm-hmm.
shell a little bit, and it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, what's going on right now? Like you know what I mean? Like it's kind of cool, you know. So, but I do think that it was the you know what I mean the counterculture rebellious nature of it. I mean, I never liked that happy go even as an 8-year-old. I never was into like that happy go lucky, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was into fucking the raw shit. So you know what I mean? Like even as a kid, you know, and it's kind of wild to think that like as a kid that they'd be into that shit or they'd be gravitated towards that shit. But I can't really explain it any other way. But I thought that shit was. I guess you know what it is, and I think this is me to this day. Is like when something kind of scares you a little bit,
Mm.
you get intrigued by it, right?
Okay. Okay.
And
I hear
so,
that.
I think a lot of the art that I do now, um, is rooted in things that um that kind of intrigued me or scared me as a kid. You know what I mean? Um so like a lot of the skulls and a lot of like, you
Mm.
know, the things that I have in my artwork, and the themes that I have in my art is like probably like me going head towards it and like kind of like embracing it and understanding it and you know finding solace and enlightenment through it, which is something that you know what I mean.
I hear that. I hear
Yes,
that completely.
yeah.
What were you growing up around? What was being played in the crib when you were growing up? What kind of music?
A lot of calypso. So I have Caribbean
Okay.
parents,
Hmm.
so they played a lot of calypso and like old reggae. um so like my parents, you know, they weren't cool at all. They would listen to everything from fucking like you know
Some
like
ABBA.
They listen to a lot of ABBA. Let's keep it 100. Like, you know what I mean? They
Straight
listen to
up.
a lot of ABBA and
Parents heavy ABBA.
Neil Diamond,
Yeah.
and but they also like listen to like a lot of calypso shit, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Eddie Grant, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. They listen to, obviously Bob Marley was played a lot, um like, um I try to remember their names, but like they had a lot of calypso, let's say that, you know
Okay.
what I mean.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's his name, fucking what's his name again, man, like,
Uh,
the
there's so many names to call from.
I can't find his name right now, but you know what I mean. But he's like a very famous reggae, or not, you know what I mean, like, reggae
Yeah.
heads know,
Yeah.
and he also did a lot of calypso as well.
Yeah.
So, but right now the name is escaping me right now.
All gravy.
Um,
It's
yeah,
morning.
so
It's all good.
yeah, exactly, right. So Chinese Jamaican guy too. So I wish I could just call him out right
Oh
now. But I
man.
mean, like,
Yeesh.
you know what I mean. So, like, I
Ah.
miss a chin like me. So it's like,
Yeah.
so for those that don't know, like, you know what I mean, I'm not Filipino. I'm actually Chinese Jamaican. You know what I mean. So
Although for a long time.
yeah. I mean, like, it is what it is. So it's like, so
Yo, I
yeah.
was even guilty of that in the beginning. I'm not gonna front.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I mean, like, yo, I mad love to my Pinoy and Pinay sisters. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
shouts out to them. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not one of those people that's like, get it right. It's like, whatever, man. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
None of that means that much to me. Let's keep it 100.
Straight
Like, you know
up,
what I mean?
straight up,
So
straight
all
up.
I make, your character is what means a lot to me. So yeah.
There you
So
go, man. There you go.
yeah.
Did you have any musical training when you were younger? Were you into anything, playing anything?
No, no
Okay.
musical training. I
Okay.
got into this through hip hop. You know what I mean?
See? Woo.
So, like, not through anything, but through hip hop, through the culture. So just studying shit. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I just bought records and listened to records. That's really what it is. You know what I mean? I nerded out and found the samples for the records. I backwards engineered those beats to kind of learn the techniques that they did. You know what I mean? So it was there's no, what I mean, science, and, like, there was just list like, I remember, Quentin Tarantino was just like, I think that he was just like, nah, I didn't go to film school, I just watched movies. And I
Yeah.
think that's the same approach that I did when I came to making beats. So it is what it is, like, you know what I mean, like, I just was able to figure it out, and, like, you know what I mean, and shouts out to guys like DJ Serious, and, you know what I mean, like,
Mm.
when we would be at
Woo.
his crib
Salute.
making beats, when he's
Hell yeah.
making beats, and we would just pull up, and just, watch him just cook, and, that was a lot of we learned a lot by just, soaking in what he would do, everything from making the beats to digging, like, he dropped mad gems on, like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on what to look for, and how, and finding those little pieces, and to this day I'm still learning new things, and finding the hip hop beats where nobody else would be able to find it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I will continue to do. That's still exciting to me,
No
so.
doubt. No doubt. Now,
mm.
obviously, we know you as a person who's behind the boards, but did you ever step in front of the mic?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
There we go.
I was a rapper first. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In high school, I was a rapper. You know what I mean? I was I was trying to be fucking grave diggers back in the day. I was trying to be like grave diggers with fucking J. Rue the Damager vernacular. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yo,
I was,
that's an interesting melange right there, yo.
yeah,
Grave
like, I
diggers
was,
with some Jeru
yeah,
flow.
like, I
Man.
wanted, like, extreme scary imagery back in the day, rapping about fucking severed heads and shit, but using really big words, like, you know what I mean, like, like that sounded like it was from, like like I probably didn't really understand the words that well at
Right.
the time, but I mean,
But
like
it's
that's
got
what I.
so many syllables, so I'm gonna use it.
It sounded cool. You know what I mean? So that was back in those days. You know what I mean? So I mean, like it was just like I studied the hip hop quotables in the Source magazine, and
Yep.
and that's what I ended up I landed on. So you know what I mean? That was like what it was. So yeah.
So what led to you moving away from the mic and finding that spot, behind the production board?
I don't really have much of a story for emceeing. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that like what I can provide as as a rapper is
Hmm.
as interesting as enough
Okay.
for me to pursue it there. You know,
Okay. Yep.
um, I'm also like now like I kind of feel like I don't have the personality for a rapper, right?
Okay.
A lot of rappers are um they're a little narcissistic,
Mm, mm.
not in a bad way, but it's just part of their personality. And in
Right.
order to, you know, be a strong rapper, you have to have a sense of narcissism and boastfulness
Yeah.
that
Yeah. You
especially
have to be able to
where
project that.
where I am in life now, I it's like I want peace. I want to be left alone. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't like like that's just what it is. Like like I like I like to sit in my room and just like kind of like just do me. So
I feel that.
so I just don't think that I have the personality for something like that anymore, and I don't even think like like I have the skills to be able to write like how these motherfuckers write. Like
Hmm.
like
Some of these folks are intimidating now.
I mean, just like being in the studio, watch like like watching either like Conway just rap with no fucking pen at all, just go into
Right.
the booth and just
Yep.
build it on the spot, or watching Danielson like write, record, and writes everything in fucking literally 20 minutes. Write a verse, spit it, and have it done in 20 minutes. That's fucking phenomenal. Like
Yeah, man.
that is magic. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That
man.
is like what you're doing is working miracles. And watching these dudes they're just so good at it. And it's like, yo, I'm gonna make space for them so that they can shine because
There you go.
they deserve it. So that's really what it is.
Did you ever explore the other aspects of the culture? Like, did you ever want to spin, or did you ever want to pick up a can and
Oh, absolutely.
go
Like I
ham?
was a DJ before this producer shit. You know what I mean? I
There you
wasn't a
go.
great DJ. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like the love of music is always going to lead you to DJing in one way or another, right? Like, so I think initially, and all my homies are DJs. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know everybody. Big Jacks. I
Yeah,
fucking had the
man.
radio show, and
You're
I had a
surrounded
lot.
by them.
Yeah, and I had all these records. So it's just like, you know what? I have something to say through my music. I have
Yep.
something to contribute. I don't think like I'm technically very good. You know what I mean? Like I do what I do, and I think that
He is humble.
I'm not technically good at all. I'm a shitty fucking DJ. And I'll tell anyone that shit. You know? Um I have great taste in music, but when it comes to like you know, being creative with mixing and cuts and stuff like that. I'm as basic as it gets. Like, you know what I
Okay.
mean? I am not trying to be Qbert by any means. I am not trying to be any of these dudes, So like, but that's why I gotta get my hats off to them. I make space for them too, So
Hell yeah.
it's like it's important that the guys that are really dedicated to this shit. Like when I DJ'd, when I was a DJ, like that was my main thing before I was making beats. I didn't practice. Me actually playing on the radio show was my practice.
Oh, damn.
Motherfuckers would practice. It's just like, what you doing right now? Oh,
Practicing live.
I'm practicing. I'm just, just fucking around with these new records that I got, and I'm like, word. I'm gonna go back to playing video games right now. So it's just what it is. So um
Yo,
yeah,
we've got to mention the radio show, man, because y'all really did your thing. You know what I mean? I know,
yeah,
like I know when we were when all of us. There was one point when I think everyone was on college radio.
yeah, yeah,
Literally, at one
yeah,
point, because I know a lot of us connected through college radio.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like we look at the other markets, get who's doing what where. Okay, cool, cool, cool. What are y'all playing over there? Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, we're not
yeah,
really playing that over here. You know,
yeah.
but y'all had a really good run,
Yeah, 20 years, man. Honestly, we could have
really
kept
good run.
we could have kept going
You
too.
could have. You could still be on air right now. Let's
We
come
could,
on.
and they've respond. They've hit us up and was like, "Yo, if you want to come back, let us know." And so the pandemic happened, and they stopped doing in like live in studios because of the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
So we would have to submit things, and it's like, if that was the case, it's gonna take a long time for us to like, to do this shit. So it's just like we didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? One of the things that we got from actually doing the show was being able to do it together.
Yeah.
Um, and come into the room and just hang out for 3 hours. So
Yep.
and we get to play some music, get to talk about the music, get to talk about whatever's new on the scene, the new scenes, the new scenes that are bubbling within the scene, the new
Hmm.
culture, you know what I mean? And I think that was always exciting. But
Yep.
we grow up and life happens, and we all have our own careers. Like Jay's killing it, Jax is killing it, like
Yep.
Jax
Shout out
is,
Big Jacks.
yeah,
Rah!
doing,
Hell yeah.
he's DJing live everywhere. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like everywhere. He's in every city. Like and he's traveling all over the place. So I mean, like if he's everywhere, how are you gonna do the show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing a bunch of shit, like and
Yeah.
especially around that time where I was traveling a lot around that time too, going to
Hmm.
different cities and just making sessions happen, right? You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
doing a lot of recording at that time. And so it's like I couldn't commit to it. So it was like we ended up doing a lot of like um repeat episodes to fill in
Mm.
those slots.
Yeah.
And I think that like you know we have other things that we're end up pursuing, so we
Yeah.
couldn't really just stick with it, really. Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
yeah,
And I mean that's just part of the journey, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's just part of the
exactly,
journey.
right. Exactly. So I mean, but shouts out to all the radio DJs that's still doing anything out there. We need y'all.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
definitely need y'all, because
seriously.
it's like especially this underground shit. Like we need a support system. One thing about it is like
Even more now.
yeah, everybody's a rapper, everybody's a
Yep.
producer.
Yep.
Um, we need journalists. We need we need everyone that's out there to shine a light on us, right? So we need the
Yeah.
DJs. We need the ecosystem to support it, because I mean the mainstream got that, and that's the reason why they're able to
Oh
do
yeah.
what they do, you know, to build the
They got to
buzz,
unlock.
right?
Hmm.
So we need the journalists to really that want to, like, and and that's what I was hoping when I first started this shit, is that we would have all that, right?
Yeah.
We would we would create the support system around it.
Yep.
And I don't think that a lot of people had the same vision. I think everybody wanted to get theirs. I think a lot of people wanted to capitalize off of what was happening on the wave, on this new
Yeah.
underground wave,
Yeah.
um, and find a bag from it. And they they went the opportunistic route, and they did that instead, as opposed to like, what, I want to shine a light on this, and I think it's important that whether it's monetizable or not, that we do that. I mean, not everybody. I don't want to say that everybody did that, but I definitely think that we could do more. So I mean, like, yo, if anyone's watching this and they want to, yo, do a magazine, do a, like what you're doing right now with the podcast,
Hmm.
with all the streaming and stuff, like, to shine light. I'm hoping that we're able to build and create more of that, because we need more of
Hell
that.
yeah.
So
Especially it's and you bring up a great point, especially now. I
yeah,
feel like for for, I mean, you can call it the underground, you can call it, whatever you like, but there is a certain segment of the music that is not going to get the kind of shine
Yeah.
that they're
Yeah.
so due and proper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there are
Absolutely.
less, there are on, I feel like there are honestly less outlets now.
Yeah, because radio has kind of like been
Exactly.
overshadowed by
Yeah.
Spotify
Yeah.
playlists,
Yep.
all the streaming and stuff like that. So radio hasn't been there. And radio, I mean, like, yo, when growing up on radio, we would be glued to a
Yeah.
stereo system, and it was
Yes.
like people were having fun. It was like really just like a party, just and the entire city was invited. Like,
Yep.
that's what it was like. And I really feel um bad that the new generation will never get to experience that, like we felt like we were in
Yeah.
the studio with the master plans and the mastermind street jams. We
Yep.
felt like
Yep.
we were there, and
Exactly.
we were listening to all these new records that they were playing every week, and you know what I mean, and it was an exciting moment in time, like, and I really wish that you know that was something that tradition was carried over, and technology happens and things change, and if we can figure out how to like a way to kind of bring that back, um but you know translate it to today's times,
Hmm.
I'm all for it, man. I think that I would be it'd be an exciting thing to do.
It's a
So
good question.
yeah.
It's a good question. Answer me this then. You've dealt with artists from different generations, including the most current generation.
Right.
When you talk to some of these artists that are newer, what avenues do they have in front of them? Are they aware of the promotional opportunities that are in front of them that they can utilize to help get their music out there? Or is it a case of, all right, I got some shit, uh who do I go to?
It
Because
depends on
I
who you're talking to. I mean,
you know,
like, some people got the A game, like, what I mean.
yeah,
I think I like me and Future Wave have a lot of these conversations. It's like,
yeah.
word. We just trying to come up with new ideas. Because
Hmm.
even as, like, we're still kind of new at this. I think that we could still. I can't speak for him, but I consider myself like new at this. But I've been here long enough that things have changed a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah.
Where in 2016 when I first dropped Never Change and Mac 90, like, blogs were things still. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? And a
yeah.
lot of the ways that we were still trying to, like, that I was able to get my music out and for people to check it out, particularly that record, was through Now Right, like,
Yeah,
and Now Right was gone, is gone now.
yeah,
Like, now it's like
yeah.
something completely different now. Now
Yeah,
it's like, okay, how do I figure out the algorithm?
exactly. Exactly.
And that's a new thing. I mean, like, there's um and even, like, I've jumped a little bit, but before that it was like, let me figure out the vinyl, like, what I mean, like,
Yeah,
how do we get the vinyl,
yeah.
is like, so it's all changed, and now it's like, we're all trying to maneuver the ship,
Yeah.
um and we're like, like, we don't know what's ahead, like, we don't know where this boat is going and what kind of
Oh, for
waters
real.
that we're
You don't know what
steering
next year's gonna
into.
look like. Oh
Yeah,
man, no, it could
exactly.
change that quick.
It could change tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it's like, like, my next album, I might have to do something completely different, to
Mm.
be honest. Like, even with Toronto Tape, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying a thing, like, what I mean. Like, it was, let's just put it out. Like, if you notice, I don't even have my video out yet. The
Yep.
normal process of things is like, have a single to buzz your album.
Yep.
My single wasn't ready yet. Like, what I mean? Like, I'm doing everything myself. So it's just like,
Hmm.
fuck it. You know what? I have, like, I had dropped the release date and I had to get whatever I could done within that time. And I got what I got done. And I mean, like, it worked out. I'm hoping that, who knows? Like, I could have done it the way I was supposed to do it, and it could have been even better. But we would never know now. We still just
Right.
maneuvering through the waters that we are in. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Let's talk about the Toronto tape. What was the genesis? It's been a minute since you put something out, and then one day I saw your post and went, oh shit, okay, all
Yeah.
right, it's about to be something. But what inspired it?
Um. So in 2020, I dropped Wired Different with Ty Ferris. Shouts out to
Right,
Ty Ferris, right?
yes sir.
In 2021. So then after I dropped that, I didn't have anything. Like, I didn't have anything lined up. It was a clean slate. Didn't know what I was gonna do next. Um, but I was sitting on music. I was sitting on joints. So I was just like, um, I had some joints that I recorded with some cats that were locally, and I was just like, and I always knew that I wanted to do a Toronto centric project, right? It was something
Mm,
that I always wanted to do.
hmm.
So in 2021, I was just like, all right, you know what? I got these joints. Um, and I decided to make an album out of it, right? So
Nice.
it was a tape. So it was like, I think it was 6 songs. Two of those songs are new. But the other songs were actually older songs. So um the first 7 songs. So I made a tape, and for Black Friday, Christmas time, I was like, I'm gonna give this out for free, right? So it was the Toronto tape was only 7 tracks, and I just sent it out for free, the tape, and I was like, yo, let me expand on this, right? Eventually, like, I was like, yo, let me expand on it and release it for the public, right? Because
Hmm.
that tape was only sent to fans for free, and it was on cassette. So it was like the only way you can listen to it
Literally,
was on
they're the only ones
cassette.
gonna hear it.
Yeah, so it's like you had to have a tape deck, you had to have
Yep.
gotten a copy,
Yep.
and so a lot of people were left in, like, there was only a few people like out of that was able to get their hands on a copy and finally hear that tape. And so I wanted to expand on it, and make it consumable for the rest of the world. And so I built on it, and I kept building on it, and I decided to, like, yo, let's do this, and just kept going, and here it is. So, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that let's just do something for the city. It's not really uh you know the hot shit, like, what I mean. This doesn't have the hottest rappers ever on the shit. Like, I wasn't trying to reach out for, like, what I mean, all the all the visibility and all the
Yeah.
all the hype. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like, let me just do something that I just wanted to shine light on what we got over here. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
And because I do think that a lot of us is doing great things, right?
Hell yeah.
So it's like, let me just put it into one consumable package. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And let people let people make a statement with it, right? And whether or not it goes, people care or people don't. You know what I mean? I still wanted to put that energy out there, and actually, I kind of felt like um it might be my most important project that I've ever dropped.
Look
Really,
at
you know.
that. Look at that.
So, and I didn't expect that. Like, the feedback has been incredible. The
You've been
city has
getting good
been,
feedback, dog.
yeah, the city, like Toronto was feeling like, yo, it feels like 2019 where
Right.
Kawhi hit that fucking jumper. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
so I mean, like,
I love that
that's
it brings that feeling back. It legit brings that feeling when
I
you
hope
listen to it.
so, man. Because, this
It's
is
like
my
riding on
city.
the TTC. You pop that on. It's like close your eyes and you think you're on the TTC. You literally
Yeah.
transport the listener, man. I was like, damn, he did the damn thing with this.
Yeah, man. Like, I want people to recognize how we talk, and what we are, you know what I mean? Like, what I see out my window, man, living in, like, Cabbage Town, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
just seeing that shit is like, what I mean? It's what it is. Like, it's like, that's I want people to understand that, what I mean? And on top of that, I hope people, like, get inspired from it. Like, I hope people are like, yo, like, what I mean? Let's do a Buffalo tape.
Right.
Let's do a Chicago tape. Let's do, what I mean? Whatever. Like, let's do a Bay Area tape. Let's, like, what I mean? Let's, you know, like whatever they do, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure that there is a Bay Area tape. I mean, they've been doing Bay Area tapes for a
Yeah.
long fucking time. So, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I want people to
Completely.
like to do something like that. And
Think about where
you
you're
know,
from and what's coming out of there.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And like, like what we have something to say. You know what I mean? Like, shouts out to Outkast when they were like at the Source Awards. The South got something to
Stuff
say.
got
Well, the
something to
North
say.
got
Yep.
something to say.
That
The North got something to
was
say,
classic.
and
Oh,
that's what I wanted
sometime.
people to recognize with the Toronto tape. And whether or not everyone else sees it, we see it and we know what it is. And I feel like I'm hoping that they're empowered because of it. So, you know,
I'm glad you bring that up, man, because right about now, I just want to acknowledge and salute your contribution to the hip hop zeitgeist and and the fact that this is a fact. Bozack Morris is known for producing that heat coming out of Canada, coming out of Toronto. You are known for being that guy. So
man,
salute
I
all
appreciate
day.
that.
People
I
know
appreciate
your name for being that guy. Okay, up here.
that's crazy, man. I mean, like, I'm just doing me. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yes,
can't,
yes.
you
Typical
know,
Canadian, so humble.
I'm just doing me. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a dude. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm just trying to make fire, that's it. You know what I mean? And like, make the shit that I like. And
For anyone who has never heard of Bozack Morris before this episode, trust me, when folks in America, folks in the States think about Canadian hip hop and they think about rap coming out of Canada, this is one of the names that are being talked about. Trust.
I
For a
mean, like,
while now.
I mean that, like, I mean that's kind of dope, man. I really hope like they do say that shit. Um, and Drake isn't just soaking up all the attention all the time. You know what I mean?
Shout
You
out to
know what I mean?
Drake. Shout
Shout
out to
out to
Drake.
Drake. You know what
Obviously,
I mean?
he's helping opening doors too.
Oh my
So
god,
shout
yo,
out to
yo!
Drake.
Shout out to Drake. Shout out to 40. Shout out to Boy Wonder.
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
all those dudes. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
man.
Like, they're hometown heroes, man. Like, they'll
Straight up.
they open the doors for myself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, um, like I kind of feel like people like our our community tends to not give mainstream artists a fair shake
Yeah.
because it might not necessarily be their cup of tea for their kind of
Yeah. Of
their taste, and that's fine. That's fine.
course.
But you can't
Can't deny.
deny
No, you can't
what
deny.
he's done
Hmm.
for us. So it's like
Especially
I
if you know
fucking
his
love
earlier, especially
yeah.
if you're familiar with the earlier stuff.
Yeah, I
A
fucking
lot of
love Drake.
people are not.
Drake can do no wrong in my opinion. You know what I mean? So shout out to Drake. You know what
Straight
I mean?
up.
All those dudes. They can't do no
Yeah, man.
wrong. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If
They
you don't
figured
like
it
Drake,
out,
that's
yo.
cool. You know what I mean? If you're a team Yasin Bey, team Mos Def, good for
Gravy.
you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool. You know what I mean? But to me, Drake is hip hop. It might not necessarily be the taste that you might like, and it
Hmm.
might be, you know what? It might be a little safe for a lot of people's taste.
Hmm.
That's cool. But I think there's clearly a space for Drake because I
Exactly.
mean,
This is hip
you know,
hop. Come on.
where you don't necessarily have to be the most gutter dude to be
Mm-mm.
part of it. And
Mm-mm.
I would say Drake is very hip hop. Drake is an important voice in hip hop. I think that is, you know what I mean? Like, you don't like I don't think that we need to see hip hop as this one thing.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's
Like,
not one dimensional.
yeah. You
Hell
have so
no.
many flavors of ice cream. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, like, motherfuckers is like, you know what I mean? Yo, if it's not vanilla, I ain't fucking with it. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
real ice cream. You know what I mean? And it's like, and and and
Nah.
and I don't come from that school of thought. You know what I mean? I think that there's a place for everything, whether it's accessible or not accessible. You can
For
do
real.
something that's completely like inaccessible and obscure and esoteric, and I would give you the same validation as I do with someone that makes something that's
Exactly.
completely accessible to people that's outside of the culture. That's fine. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, yeah. So that's how I look at it. You don't have to like it, you know, but I would still give everybody that same fair shake. You know what I mean? So, you know, unless they vultures. If they
Yeah,
doing the shit
exactly.
to fucking leech off the shit, and then nah, I don't, fuck out of here with that shit. You know,
Well, you bring up a good
I
point
don't put
though.
Drake in that category. I don't think Drake is
No,
a vulture at all. He's been, like,
no,
we've seen this come
hell
up.
no.
We've seen
Exactly.
we've seen him back in 2008, 2009.
Come
You
on
know what I
now.
mean? Being a
Hmm.
lover of this, being a fan of this shit. So it's like
Hmm.
I know what this shit is. So
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? Yeah.
And I think because when you're into hip hop, if you've been about the culture, or even if you've just been about rap,
Mhm.
say you weren't even like mega, I'm about the culture, the culture, the culture. If you're more just about rap, you can't you can't escape the fact that as human beings, we have more than one mood up in this motherfucker, yo.
Yes, we do.
We're
Exactly.
not always one way all the time,
Yeah, exactly. You know,
and the
I mean, like,
music reflects that.
sometimes you don't want to listen. Like, sometimes you in the mood for Griselda. Sometimes you in the
Straight up.
mood for Marvin's Room. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It
for
is what
real.
it is. Like, you know.
For
So I
real.
mean, um, that's the beauty of this shit. You know what I mean? So it's a spice. It's a spice of life, right? It's variety. So you know what I mean? Like, you know, just, yeah, that's how we look at it. You know,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's how I look at it. You know, so
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
you know, so yeah,
It's a
you
it's a
know.
healthy way to look at it because
Yo, with that
because the
said, yo,
culture
if
is
I do
not
a Toronto tape,
monotheistic.
exactly, right? But with that said, yo, if Drake, if you're hearing this right now, Toronto tape 2, let's make it happen. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
get
You
up
know
on
what
it.
I mean? So, yeah, I mean, so
Get
that's what
up
it
on it.
is. Yeah.
Yo, you need to mention some of the people you have on this project, man.
Oh man, like, fuck, man. Like, you know, I reached out to
Hmm.
my peoples. You know,
Yes,
I went
yeah.
directly for my peoples. You know what I mean? It's like, so I got Daniel's son, I got A son, I got Lord Juco, I've got Raz Fresco, I've got fucking DJS B, I've got the Rom Animal, Trey the Rom Animal. Shouts out to him. You know what I mean?
Hell
Y'all might
yeah.
remember him from Empire
Brah,
days when Empire
brah.
was fucking running the fucking city. You know what
Hell
I
yeah.
mean? They had everybody scared, you know,
Shout out
in the
Trey.
2000s. And shouts out to Empire. That's where 40 came out of too. 40,
Exactly. Shout out
you know,
Empire. What?
so
Jeez.
you know what I mean? Fuck, man. Like, yo, Dante and Wise Wonder, man. Yo, we got a group called Loyola. Me, Dante, and Wise Wonder, man. So
Okay.
we got fire on the
Oh
way. So,
shit.
yo, that
Okay.
record is
You got me all
crazy.
up on my seat and shit.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
okay, let's go.
Yo, that shit, the music and the that's fam right there, man. The shit that we did there is fucking chef's kiss, man. So,
Nice.
um, fucking, yeah, like Roshan. Shouts out to Roshan.
Roshan.
Roshan
Oh
doing this
shit.
thing, man. King Bliss. You know what I mean? Shouts out to King Bliss. Fucking, you know what I mean? Via Lines, man. Via Lines is doing this
Hell
thing from
yeah.
VLXL fame. Naeem, man. Like, Naeem is doing this thing. He dropped a real
Right.
dope record, man. Like, you know what I mean? So Highway 308. You know what I mean? He's been killing the shit. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, yo, pay attention to all these dudes. All these guys are making a lot of noise, man. So you know what I mean? Six Letter and fucking and Gritfall, man. Baker's Club is in the motherfucking building, man.
I
So
know.
you know what I mean? I'm hoping I didn't miss anyone, man. So you know what I mean?
I gotta
Like,
be real, man. I was not surprised when I saw the track listing and all the people on there. I was like, fuck yeah, this is exactly what I expected. You know what I mean?
word. Okay, dope,
I was
dope.
like, that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, yeah. Man. Oh
I
yeah, and
was
free Lex Talianis because he's on it too, man. So free Lex.
okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, you know what I mean? He's behind the wall right now. So you know what? Free my guy. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I'm hoping that he's good, but I mean, like, you know,
yeah.
I wish that he was here to see what was happening. So
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but free my guy with Lex Talley on this, man. So yeah,
So the Toronto tape, it dropped when?
it dropped February 2nd.
The second. Okay.
Yeah,
So
February.
have you figured out that first single yet?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I shot a video, and I'm
Okay.
waiting for it.
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
waiting for it. I had a version of it that I was working on. Um, nobody liked that shit. So we
Okay.
pushing it back so
Okay. Okay. Okay.
we can get it right. So that's the reason why we don't have the single out yet. But I
That's
did
peak.
service um the packs, so the DJs have it. So um I know you got it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, play that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Radios can
damn
play
straight.
that shit. You know what I mean? I got clean edits on that shit. So make sure y'all fucking bang the shit loud so people can hear what
Most
Toronto has to offer, what Toronto's
That's
saying right now.
I mean, I've after listening to the whole thing, obviously I was like, damn, this is flames. But then
What's your
the
favorite song
packs.
on there, man? I want to know.
Okay, for real, that Roshan joint off top,
A word. Okay, dope.
off top, because no disrespect to anybody, you know what I'm saying? But you know how it is. Music is subjective, and it's how you feel it when you listen to it, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as I heard his voice, it was like, oh, Roshan's on. It's okay, and then I'm like, oh, damn, and then after listening to it, I went back to that joint again.
He's nice, right?
I
He's
went back
ill.
to it like, yo, Roche really did. So salute to you and Roche, man, because wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, like,
Whew,
we got some more music too, man. I mean, like, we
I
dropped
don't doubt it, man. You guys should put an album together for real.
yeah, man. Like, yo,
You
we got
guys
some more
sound so
music
good
together, man.
together.
Definitely, man. And like,
But
yo,
yo,
shout out for those that didn't hear the Kawhi record that we did. Like, I did a remix to his joint with him and Gnome called
okay,
Kawhi. Like,
okay,
that shit is fucking fire. I got
yep,
on 7-inch, man. So go to
yep.
ggbrrecords.bandcamp.com
It is
and
a very
get yourself
dope
a
remix.
copy.
He is not lying. He killed that shit.
Yo, it's on streaming too, so go and check it out, man. But if
Yeah,
you want the vinyl, man, like, yo, there's vinyl for that,
yeah,
and
definitely grab
just
that.
go on my Bandcamp. So it is what it is. So yeah,
And then for the Toronto tape, you've got cassette and vinyl, right?
yeah. So vinyl's
Fuck
coming
yeah,
soon. We
fuck
working
yeah,
out the vinyl. I'm hoping that I'll have the pre-order up by end of February.
dope.
Um, the cassettes are already sold out. That was a Bars Over BS exclusive. So shouts out to Bars Over BS. That's Ty
Fucking
Ferris's record label, and
yes,
he did a phenomenal job with that push. So,
dope.
and CDs as well, man. So I mean, like, yo, he sold out of the CDs. That was a Bars Over BS.
Nice,
That was on barsoverbs.com. But
nice.
we got some coming. Like, I got some too. So I mean, like, I'll definitely be putting those up alongside the
Dope,
vinyl when that comes
dope.
out. So yeah,
Hell yeah. Now,
yeah.
one thing I was wondering about after
Mm.
listening to the project, I was like, you know, this would be like an unbelievable show. Have you considered performing this in any form or fashion?
What do you think would work, man? I mean, that's something that I
Live
wanted
stream,
to talk to you about. Like,
live
so
stream.
I would love to fucking. You would want to do a live stream, yeah?
You should live stream. You first do a live show, nice small little intimate show in a venue, and live
Yeah,
stream it.
yeah, yeah. Maybe,
Sell
yeah.
tickets to
I'm
the
trying to
live
think of
stream.
what would get people, um, what would get people to come through to this. I would want people to come through to this, and I would love to, like, do a tour. Like, it's like a mini tour. You
Oh, he's
know,
breaking up a bit.
I would love to do a mini tour. So
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I
You
mean?
mentioned that. I think
Yeah. So
first of
I'm
all, if you can make it make sense, dollars and cents, then
yeah.
people are ready for a live show. You know that. People
If
have
we
been
did,
heading back out for live
yeah.
shows.
Like, would you want, like, rap performances, or like would it be like a beat set, or would it be like a DJ set? Like, what would work in this with this type of thing, man? Because honestly, like, this is something that's kind of new to me, but I am
Yeah.
very open to it because it's something that's brand new, and I might have something special with the vinyl with me too. So it's like, you know, can we make something that's kind of fly with this shit? Like, make this something like special,
Why couldn't you
for the fan.
incorporate all of that though
Yeah, yeah.
into a
That
show?
was
Incorporate everything you mentioned. Incorporate all of
yeah,
it into a show.
yeah. I mean, like, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I got to figure out logistically how much this would
Yeah.
cost, and
Yeah.
how much of a return I would be able to get on that.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
I don't is there are there any deadlines that may have been missed that you could possibly hit up funding for?
I don't know. Maybe
You know
we'll
what I
see.
mean? Maybe you could look at some live funding grants.
Yeah, that
You
might
know what
be
I
it.
mean?
That might be something to look into. I mean, like, it's
Yeah.
something that I didn't even look into yet for
Yeah.
actual shows. So hopefully, we're able to make something happen.
Yeah, because there are, there are deadlines for all the grants,
Mhm.
and they do have money that is budgeted for touring.
Yeah, definitely, man.
That might be something to look into.
That would be something. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm going to look into that. And hopefully, man, if they have answers for me, then we'll make something work. That would definitely be fire.
So you want to take it on the road?
I definitely do. I
Fuck
definitely do. I
yeah!
think that that's
Woo! There you go. There you
I
go.
think that's something that I haven't really explored yet,
Hmm.
and like I'm trying to explore every single avenue this this 2024 run. So
Right. Yeah.
we'll see what we can do. So what I mean, let's make this pop, and what I mean, let's get everybody out and supporting and just loving this rap shit that we do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what I mean,
man.
so I want people to feel a part of this shit.
For real.
Yeah.
And I think a live show would really, really help, honestly, help sell the project, because to hear it is one thing, but then to watch it live on stage, that will just garner even more eyes and ears.
I wanna. I'm sitting on so much music, and I
I
want
don't
to
tell you,
play.
man.
I want to play new shit for motherfuckers. I want to play exclusive shit for motherfuckers. I really want to
That's the
take it.
Radiohead in you. See, that's his Radiohead.
Like
He's
I
about
got
playing
like
the exclusives.
so yo. I've been doing a lot. Like I've been doing beat shows here and there and stuff like that. And what's
Yeah.
exciting about the beat shows is that I get to hear live reactions to some of the
Yes.
shit that I'm working on,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
when you get like a Dave Chappelle and he would like go to like these really small clubs and
Yep.
just perform new material
Yep.
to see how the crowd. I want to do that with my beats, right?
Not a bad
And I want to
idea.
bring some cats too. Like I would love if like Future Wave came along with me. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Finn. Like I mean? I know they're sitting on heat. Camouflage
Hmm.
Monk. I've been talking with him.
Okay.
Like I don't want to say too much because it's like I don't know if it's gonna happen, but
Right.
it's like this is an idea I've been floating around in my head. Where we did something along like a tour like that, where we get to explore some of the shit that we've been working on and
Hmm.
bless the heads with some exclusives. You know what I mean? With
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
some new shit. You know what I mean? So I think that would be exciting, and exciting
I
for
think
us too.
so.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to perform that stuff live?
yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? As an artist, why wouldn't you want to perform that live and be able to see people's faces and their reactions to what they're hearing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. All
Yeah.
day. All day.
We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I mean, like we'll see if we can make it happen. Um, there's nothing planned yet, so I don't want to keep
Hmm.
people like okay he's dropping a tour and misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying these are ideas
Looking
and
at it.
and
Looking at it.
hopefully we can take it there where it can actually come to fruition. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure it won't be too difficult for you to put it together. I know you know heads and a lot of markets. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you know the right promoters and the right folks to affiliate with to make it pop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we'll see what happens. I mean we'll see if this is something that people will be we can actually make it happen and people will come through for it. So you already
Fuck
know.
it, man. We're throwing it into the universe so that it happens. There you go.
Yes. Yeah,
Throwing
there
it
you
out there
go.
into the ether because it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Bozack Morris, Toronto Tape live in 2024.
Let's go. Yeah, let's
Straight
go.
up and
Let's make
down.
this happen. Give me all the energy to make this work. So let's do this. You know what I
There
mean?
you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Man, I want to thank you. It is always a pleasure to have you in the lounge space. You know what I'm saying? It's always
Yeah.
a pleasure to help you promote dope shit because that's the only reason for our existence up in here is to promote dope shit. And when folks like you drop dope shit, you make it real easy, okay?
Man, I'm gonna keep at it, man. Like, yo, that's what I do, man. So it's
Yeah,
like
man.
I'm gonna keep at it. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get mid from me. You know what I mean? I tell you that. Like I mean, like we solidified what we did because we don't put out mid. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Straight up.
That's
Straight
what
up.
it is. So
Before I let you go, man, we touched on a couple things earlier, but I know you're someone that I can ask this question because you've been there, you saw it all in real time. You were one of
mhm,
us, you're one of us that saw all of this in real time.
mhm.
Last year, this culture of ours hit 50 years,
Right.
and we saw it all in real time.
Hmm.
Any thoughts about what you've seen during that time?
About hip hop or the
Just
50-year
yeah,
anniversary?
just about hip hop. Everything you've seen, like since Jump. Any thoughts about all this history that has amassed that we've been able to witness in real time?
It's kind of crazy because it's something like we don't know that we're creating history when we're actually creating history. We don't know the importance of what we're doing until like after it's already done. You know,
Right?
we're just doing it. It's just something that we do, and it's amazing. You know what I mean? Like I see a lot of people looking back and talking about a lot of the stuff and a lot of the history, and we that we did, and with all reason to. I mean, like like it was greatness, right? Um, but it's like I'm let's create more. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Let's just create more. You know what I'm
Straight up.
saying? It's like I'm not really. I love like you know what I mean. I love especially the shit I was listening to The Shining the other day, like
Mm.
recently, and I'm like, oh my god, like the feeling that I had when I copped the CD back in 1995 or whenever,
Yep.
like
Yep.
I'm like, you know what I mean, like,
You
and
still
I'm
get
just
that
like,
feeling.
yeah, and it's like, yo, this is I'm trying to carry on tradition. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm hope people that listen to Toronto Tape feel like how I felt when that shit dropped. You know what I mean? When those albums dropped. You know what I mean?
Very
Like,
well put. Very well
so
put.
and I hope everybody does the same thing, right? Um, carry on tradition and like listen like celebrate the greats, but celebrate it by putting out what you do. You know what I mean? You don't have to make
Exactly.
the exact same shit that they
No.
do.
No.
In fact, don't, because that's what they
Don't.
do. You know,
Exactly.
do what
Don't.
you do, and
Yes.
you know what I mean, and create that feeling for this next generation. It's the only thing I like. I can, you know, only feedback that I can really like say and advice I can say to people that's doing it now. So
Straight up.
yeah, so yeah,
There you go, man. Wise words of Bozack Morris. Done. No.
you know
Yo,
what
let
it
him know
is,
your
man. You know
socials,
what it is.
dog. Let him know
What's
your
that?
socials. Let him know your socials.
Bozacula on Instagram is probably where I'm the most active on is on Instagram. Um, but Bozack Morris, one word on Twitter or X or whatever you want to fucking call it now. Um, and Bozack Morris, you can find me on Facebook. Like I get a lot of bullshit on Facebook, so I mean,
Facebook's
like
funny, but people are still using it.
people are definitely still using it. You know
People
what
are
I
still
mean?
using it. Yeah.
I think Instagram is where I get the most engagement.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok. I can't keep up with all these new social media trends and stuff like that. I actually try to stay off of social media unless it's like directed towards me
Right.
because that shit is a mess. So,
It's
you know what
wild
I mean?
out there, yo.
Yeah, and that's a whole other podcast, really. You know what I mean? So, it's like let's like I mean, but I mean like the best way to get at me is probably Instagram.
There you go. The Toronto Tape is out on streaming right now. Pick up the
Run those
vinyl when it
numbers
comes
up.
out. Run
Yeah,
those streams. Run those
run them
streams.
down. Put those numbers on the board, man. Like let's make this happen, man. So and a lot like I've gotten some good streaming numbers so far, but let's fucking keep going,
There you
especially
go.
because Spotify changed their shit where it's just like you're not
Yes.
getting paid unless you get 1,000 fucking streams per
Yes.
song.
Oh my
So it's like
God.
let's get all the songs over 1,000.
Run
Like you know
it.
what I mean? Not just your favorite songs, all the songs. You know what I mean? Let's get
Straight
those
up.
fucking numbers up because it's like
Straight up.
Spotify's on some bullshit. So let's get this shit going. You know what I mean? And
You
not just
know it,
those
man.
songs, but every song in my fucking catalog. You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah,
get all those
man.
numbers up.
Straight
So
up.
you know what I mean? So let's make that happen.
It's always a pleasure, man. You know it's an open door.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that,
All
man. So
day, man. All
you know
day.
what I mean? So I could talk your ear off with this shit. So it's
Yeah,
like
man. Yeah,
I
man.
could sit here and talk all day, man. Honestly, man. I was like, yo, that was an hour already. I'm like, yo, fuck, man. Like I could keep going. I can go. I can keep going. You know what I mean? So
Well, it definitely won't be the last time. You know we'll get you on again.
exactly, man. So you know what I mean? Because I mean, like, yo, I got some more. I got some more dropping. So
For
I mean,
sure,
like,
for sure.
just stay
When
tuned for that
when
shit.
yeah, whenever you have something that needs to be heard, it's just a matter of like DM, let's go.
Yeah, I will definitely hit you up, man.
There you go, man.
So
Bozack, my man, salute. Thank you very much, dog.
thank you very much, man. Thank you for
Toronto
all the
tape, run the
support, man.
streams. Toronto tape, run the streams.
Run them shits, man. Let's go.
There you go. Blah! Peace, dog.